All right, let's check back in with Cindy. We've been talking about how to keep your plants alive when we've got this crazy hot weather.
Crazy indeed, Store Bonnie. Yeah, we were out here on the weather patio, and if you think about it, July has been a hot month, and up until about yesterday, it's been a dry month, so tough for gardeners for sure. But I'm joined this morning here on the weather patio by President of Weston Nurseries. This is Peter Mezitt. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. And you have 3 words. Yes, you can.
You
That's
can
the
plant.
message.
Yes, plants can show signs of stress during the dry, hot weather that we've had, but there are many plants that will be much happier if they're in the ground than in our garden center sitting above ground. So it's better to have them in the ground than above the ground.
Okay, so certain plants in particular?
Absolutely. I brought some today that I wanted to show that can really survive the stress of the hot summer weather. And by all means, the first and foremost is the hosta right here. I took a hosta last year in my garden and I divided it in the middle of the summer and left it above ground, and it lived right in the full sun all year. So those are probably your toughest ironclad, heat-tolerant plant right there.
And you can split those up this time of year. You don't have to do that in the spring or the fall.
You can actually split these up in the summer and they'll still survive.
That's
correct.
good to know.
The daylily, this is one called Purple Dior. It's a newer one, like the Stella Dioro, but it's purple. And that will survive this stress. These are ever bloomers that will continue to bloom right through the hot weather in the summer in the full sun.
Okay, matches my dress.
Yeah, it does. Grasses do very well, and look at the contrast. I should point out, just look at all these plants together, how beautiful it is.
Right.
These are all plants that you can put in this combination. It just looks absolutely gorgeous.
So if it's a part of your yard that maybe the hose doesn't reach, if it's a little too dry, they'll do okay.
Right, right. They'll do fine in the dry conditions. I should also point out that they need to be wet originally.
Okay.
You got to water them good coming in.
Get them established, and then they're fine.
Right.
Are there some products that can help us out?
There are. So this is one thing that we recommend for trees. It's called a gator bag. And you can zip it, you can zip multiple around the trunk and fill it up with water and let it go.
It's called a gator bat. It kind of looks like the little mouth of the gator there.
Yep,
Great.
yep. So this is good for filling it up, and it slowly drips in, penetrating deep into the root system, which is what it needs to do.
And you were telling me too, if there are trees in your yard, you have to be mindful of that if they're a little close to plants.
Yeah, oh yeah. One thing to consider is the conditions when you're planting in the summer especially, or even in the spring, you got to plan ahead. If you have, for instance, I saw a big maple tree the other day, and it was just sucking all the moisture out of the soil, and the plants were all suffering.
Right.
And it was on a sloped area facing south. So you had south-facing root competition and water runoff. The plants never had a chance.
Sounds like 1, 2, 3 wrongs right there.
Right,
all
right.
in a row.
So you really got to pick the right plant for that condition. So these are some examples. A few more products you can do to avoid the summer heat effect is the soaker hose.
That makes life a little easier
A little
than
easier.
standing there, right?
Yep, you can clamp this right down, put it under your mulch, and you never see it, and just run it at the proper timing. And then mulch. Always mulch. Mulch keeps the soil temperature consistent and holds in that moisture.
When Mother Nature can't, right?
That's right.
Peter, great tips today. Thank you so much, and hopefully Mother Nature will be on our side a little bit more as we go forward here
so.
through the rest of summer. Thanks so much
Thanks.
for coming out. We're going to take a quick break, but we will be back in just a moment. Stay